Alright guys, so for today's video, the topic is going to be around escaping the 9 to 5, and this was a request from someone in the comments. So if you guys want to have your topic discussed, make sure you leave a comment and we can dive into that specific topic, or maybe you have multiple you're interested in. Just let me know. This particular topic I think is a pretty common thing, and it's about escaping the 9 to 5 mentality. And the first thing I want to say when it comes to that is having a 9 to 5 is not a bad thing. Okay, I know with social media and all the stuff you see online, even women, they make it seem like women don't like men who have 9 to 5s, which women are also brainwashed into believing the narrative that you see on social media. But it's not a bad thing to have a 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5. There is nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. We're going to start there. And the reason I say there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 is you can still make a lot of money doing a 9 to 5. Although with a 9 to 5, obviously you may not be able to scale to certain numbers. Like making $1 million a year with a 9 to 5 is very difficult. You'd have to be a C-level executive, owning a business in the corporate structure, okay? But aside from that, something I want you guys to know is it's okay to not have a business or striving to make millions or billions of dollars. Not everyone is going to want to do that. I don't want people to feel like they're a piece of shit because they are not doing that currently. I think something that's way more important than millions and billions of dollars is, as a man specifically, is being able to have a family and provide for other people. Do you need millions and billions of dollars to do that? No. Does it help? Of course. But I think what's more important, either way, whether you are making $200,000, $100,000 a year versus $1 million a year, is the man that you are inside. But with that said, I don't want you guys to think, oh, a 9 to 5 is the end of the fucking world. It's really not, okay? I've had 3 M3s, 2 Camaros, and I'm looking at getting a G-Wagon in 2026. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would know that. But anyways, and most of my income is from my 9 to 5, right? So there's nothing really wrong with starting out or having a 9 to 5, especially when you're under 30, even 40 years old. I think business owners, somebody's gonna have to correct me. Maybe I can look at it later. But there's a statistic that says most successful business owners, or people who make their first $1 million or something like that, it starts when they're in their 40s, sometimes 50s. So if you feel like because you have a 9 to 5 while you're under that age, that you're a piece of shit, it's simply not the truth. It really comes down to what your goals are, what your aspirations are in life. But just because you're not rich doesn't make you a shitty man. What makes you a shitty man is when you don't do anything at all with your life. You have no aspirations, no goals. You just sit around and leech off of other people. You're just getting by in life, not really caring about anyone else or anything. And unfortunately, a lot of young men and even older men get to a point in their life where they're so comfortable, and maybe their family or their friends are enabling them to stay comfortable and stay where they are in life, so they never progress. And by the time they hit 40 or 50 years old, they haven't really developed themselves as much as they should have if they wanted to reach any sort of goals in life, right? A lot of men actually will be 40 years old but still have the same mindset that they had in high school, because there was no progression in their life whatsoever mentally. They only got older, did the same thing for 20 years with no sort of growth or challenges that they decided to overcome to better themselves. So it's very important. Your mindset is more important than the amount of money you make. Money will follow based on your mindset. Now, there are those one-offs, you know, these celebrities, these NFL players, basketball players, all the sports players, entertainers, right? These people, you could argue that they have talent, but their mindset did not get them to where they are necessarily. You could say athletes and certain people have discipline, but I would argue that what it really is courage and consistency and being in the right place at the right time most of the time for those specific people. Now, if we get into the topic of people who were doing 9 to 5s as they started out, they were broke, and then all of a sudden a lot of success and wealth came to them after 10 years, 20 years of putting in effort and working a 9 to 5 or striving to open a business, right? Those people really are rewarded at the end of the day more than a basketball player, more than a celebrity, you know, a singer, whatever the case may be. I genuinely believe that. Not to say that celebrities and sports players can't develop themselves, but you develop a lot more when you have to build yourself up from zero to hero by putting in massive amounts of work. But there are, like I said, there are one-offs all the time. You know, maybe Jay-Z or Drake or some other people who've put in effort and probably have developed themselves outside of just being an entertainer. But a really good example of, you know, someone who went from 9 to 5 to extremely rich or successful is Andrew Tate. You know, Andrew Tate gets a lot of he's had a lot of controversy around him over the past few years, but to be honest with you guys, I genuinely support about 99% of what Andrew and Tristan Tate represent. And the reason for that is they literally came from nothing and built their way up on their own. I mean, I say on their own, they had each other. You know, not everybody is fortunate enough to have a brother to have their back on the way up. But in my opinion, that'll just make it that much more sweet when I get to my goal later on down the line without any support, any help whatsoever. And I've gotten to where I'm at right now, like you guys have heard in my previous videos, without any support. So I'm proud of where I'm at right now, and we're only going to continue to go up. And you guys should be proud of where you're at, regardless if you have a 9 to 5 or not. Because I'm sure a lot of you have, even though they may seem small, you do have accomplishments. There are things that you've completed, you know, goals that you might have set and you actually have completed them that you forget about and you overlook. So remind yourself from time to time of all the cool shit that you actually have done. But yeah, to summarize, the 9 to 5 mentality, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. If you do want to strive for more in life and make a lot of money so you can provide and have a family and peace of mind, I'm completely right there with you. Is that what everybody's going to want out of life? No. Is that okay? Yeah, completely. You know, you can't have, I'm not calling people losers, but in life, you can't have winners without losers. You can't have rich without broke, right? You can't have average without above average or below average, right? So all these things have to exist perfectly within the universe to balance everything out. So not everyone's going to make it to the top. Not everyone's going to strive to be at the top. That's just something you have to accept, which could be another topic that we can get into. You know, as you climb up the ladder, you're going to deal with a lot of people who are not motivated or interested in the way you are to achieve certain goals. But yeah, hopefully that was insightful for you guys. Go ahead and hit the like button. Leave some comments for future topics. Follow me on Instagram. Send me some DMs of topics if you want on there as well. I post a lot on Instagram, guys. I'm on a 300 and I want to say 30 something. I forget sometimes. I have to check my story history to remember what day I'm on. But I'm on a 300 and something day streak out of 365 days of going to the gym twice a day, morning and night. So if you guys want to keep track of that, I post every day on my Instagram.
They gon' love me for my ambition. Easy to dream a dream, though it's harder to live.